Diversity training in social justice work without class in it is inherently problematic because all of those other identities, race, gender, etc., were culturally constructed to enforce a class system. Further, a lot of white people have a lot of resentment for multiple reasons, including bigotry, for not having their class issues recognized. And in this book, Class Matters, she interviews a very diverse group of people from different class backgrounds, and one of them, named Felice Yeskel, writes about this. Diversity training on college campuses is problematic without classism because education itself functions as primary access channel for transitioning across class. Through the nonprofit group Class Action, I have co-facilitated support groups for students raised poor or working class who attend the 4 elite private colleges in Western Massachusetts: Smith, Mount Holyoke, Amherst, and New Hampshire. If you're white and you come from a poor or working class background, you show up on these campuses and you are having your mind blown hundreds of times a day, and your reality is never noticed or validated by anyone. If you are a student of color at these colleges, your experience of being different and in the minority is recognized. There are support services available. You might be peers. You get to be with peers who are also encountering a difference. For some, it's a racial or ethnic difference. For some, it's both a racial, ethnic, and a class difference. But you are in a support system that says to you, look, we know this must be strange for you. You may be the first generation of your family to go to college. Let us help you. But if you are white and you're having a similar experience, there's absolutely no one who notices or validates that. You can't find other people like yourself very easily. There is acknowledgement that most colleges have a dominant white Eurocentric culture, but not necessarily an awareness of the dominant middle class or higher class culture. I remember one woman who said, my mom works at the Dunkin' Donuts in Holyoke, a very poor city nearby, and I'm a student at Mount Holyoke. She couldn't even find the words to describe her disorientation. She was transverse in cultural worlds that were miles apart, but since she was white, she looked like the typical Mount Holyoke student, and no one knew she was freaking out. The students are dealing with major issues like loyalty and disloyalty to the families they left behind and not knowing how to act. So when they go to a diversity training and hear about multicultural this and diversity that, and their experience is never noticed, they feel like, what about me? I have seen this in work settings. I have found this in my research. I have also still found that the consequences are more severe for people of color from working class backgrounds, and in particular ADHD people from working class backgrounds. There's always nuance because there is overlap between white culture and middle class and higher culture, but the Venn diagram isn't as overlappy for working class whites. So I don't think this is like the end all be all. I'm not a throw out race and gender person. we don't get to skirt around that. We have to work through that because that's the whole point of those identities being constructed. But curious to hear your thoughts.